Everything we do is designed to empower someone. We empower farmers to flourish. We empower financial goals to be achieved. We empower healing to be found. I want to invite all of you to join with us in this mission.
Welcome back to our afternoon session of Connection 2020. Today we're going to be talking about an important concept of optimal wellness, and that is sometimes the discomfort and pain that sometimes we might feel. But I'd like to put it in context of more of our philosophy of wellness that we have at doTERRA. As you know, we talk a lot about our doTERRA wellness lifestyle, and we focus on some primary habits or health habits that help us to have optimal health. And optimal health for us is more than simply being free of sickness. Optimal health is having that strength and that energy and that vitality to go live life and have that life. Now, when we talk about pain, and discomfort today, I want to put that in context, more of a positive context. Pain is actually a messaging system that our body has to protect us against danger. For example, if I put my hand on a hot pan on a stove, immediately my body's going to send me this message to my brain that says, take your hand off that pan. Okay, so but discomfort and aches and pains aren't necessarily a bad thing in every situation. Another example, if it's the springtime and I want to go out and work in my yard and I haven't done that during the winter time, it's the first time that I'm going to do that. And if I go work 12 hours working hard in my yard, the next morning when I wake up, I may wake up with some aches and pains. Well, that's my body telling me that perhaps I overdid it a little bit the day before. And again, that's a normal thing, and it's something that we live with, and it's something we should listen to when our body sends us those messages. So the question is, when if our goal is to have optimal health, how can we manage that messaging system in such a way? How can we listen to those messages in such a way that we respond to those messages to help us have optimal health? And again, it starts with going back to those primary wellness activities of eating right, exercising, resting, managing stress, and reducing our toxic load. All right? So let's say I do wake up one morning after a hard day of yard work, and I do have that discomfort in my muscles and aches in my joints. So what can I do? Well, that day is a great day, again, to focus back on making sure the foods that we are high in micronutrients, that we're getting a good supply of antioxidants, that we're hydrating, regular exercise that includes not only aerobic capacity, but also strength training and especially flexibility training are all ways that can help us reduce or minimize some of those aches and discomforts that come with regular demands of life. We can also make sure that we're getting plenty of rest. If I wake up and I'm feeling those aches and pains again, I want to make sure that I'm getting a good recovery time. So rest and managing stress is also a strategy for these discomforts that sometimes we encounter during life. So again, as part of our overall doTERRA philosophy of living a lifestyle that contributes to optimal wellness and vitality, this is one area that we can focus on, and we can use doTERRA and doTERRA products and follow those healthy lifestyle activities to help us manage those occasional discomforts that sometimes we have as part of life. Now, I am happy to introduce this afternoon's host, Brielle Bailey. We were pleased to have Brie join the doTERRA team 3 years ago, and she has spent much of that time working with many of our performance advocates as well as professional athletic trainers. She has recently accepted the role as Market Development Manager for diverse markets in the U.S. and Canada, and is also part of our new Inclusion and Diversity Committee. As a former collegiate athlete at Arizona State University, Brie has ample experience with this afternoon's topic and has become a strong advocate for optimal wellness.
Let me just clear the air real quick because this is a question that I get quite often. I'm 6'4", and let me tell you, it is a pain to buy pants, and you will never see me in a pair of heels. As a collegiate volleyball player, I've experienced a lot of physical discomfort due to the amount of training I was doing. Playing sports at a high level requires your body to be in perfect shape so that you can consistently perform your best on the court. With up to 10 hours of training per day, health problems happened frequently. And unfortunately, most of these happened during the season where a quick turnaround was necessary. This led to many athletes, including myself, relying on synthetic solutions that could potentially negatively influence the body in the long run. This isn't only a concern for athletes, however. People all over the world deal with discomfort and are looking for natural ways to support their bodies. Today, we're going to talk all about relief and how you can find it using the natural solutions at your fingertips. We've brought in some of the best experts on this topic, from doctors to athletes to scientists. We will pull from their insight, ask hard questions, and get to the heart of how you can find relief using natural products. We know that this is a topic so close to many hearts, and to help us all connect today, we want to hear from you throughout the session. Post where you're joining us from with the hashtag doTERRA2020. We have 25 relief kits ready to give away to 25 lucky people who post where they're watching the session from today, so do not miss your chance. Our first presenter is Dr. Paul Winterton, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon with decades of medical experience.
It's my distinct honor and privilege to be involved with this year's festivities, particularly with regard to presenting ideas promoting physical comfort, the physiology of what causes body discomfort, and discuss some of the developments in how the medical field is addressing these matters. When we think about discomfort, we can think of it in terms of short-term or persistent. An example of short-term discomfort is when you hit your thumb with a hammer. This hurts intensely at first and then slowly fades over time. Let's walk through what happens in your body after you hit your thumb with a hammer. Unpleasant physical sensations involve receptors, two-way communication between peripheral nerves and the central nervous system, and a variety of chemicals along with that. When a traumatic or non-traumatic injury occurs in an extremity or deep within an organ system, copious amounts of a neurochemical called serotonin and the electrolyte potassium are released at the site of injury. Serotonin can amplify or calm the signals being sent, and potassium is involved in the firing of our neurons. Specialized receptors are found within layers of skin and deep tissues like muscle, joints, and most of our visceral organs that serve to detect sensations such as heat, pressure, chemicals, and, of course, discomfort. The different types of stimuli are received by these receptors, and if the stimulus is strong enough, it's changed into electrochemical signals that are sent to the central nervous system. The spinal cord begins processing that signal sent from the peripheral nerves and releases excitatory neurotransmitters, like glutamate. The brain receives the signal and determines the quality, location, and intensity of the stimuli, triggering feelings of discomfort. However, if this assault to the body, in this case your thumb, is not corrected and resolved properly, healthy nerve function can be disrupted, making the soreness become more intense and persistent. In this case, serotonin is released by the brain into the spinal cord, which activates channels in the peripheral nervous system that become hyperactive. This serotonin release at the site of injury, as well as the release of serotonin in the brain, is a very important factor in how we perceive potentially damaging stimuli. Specifically, serotonin creates varying levels of tolerance to the unpleasant sensation, whether it be traditional injury-associated discomfort or the kind of emotional discomfort spawned from despair or depression. With an agitated nervous system, unpleasant sensations are amplified, and other nerve cells respond in a cascading, negative manner. Inflammation is another trigger in this cycle. Inflammation is your body's normal response to infection or injury. It's a protective mechanism that stops damage to tissues and cells. But if it persists longer than it should after an injury or infection, it can cause pressure to build in the affected area that irritates sensitive nerve endings. This can disrupt proper nerve function and make them more sensitive to noxious stimuli. The goal is to better manage this cycle, from stimulus detection to response and resolution. We can intervene at different points in this cycle to support healthy resolution before it becomes persistent. For the past few decades, the medical field's approach to addressing this cycle has resulted in some problems. The overall reliance on synthetic chemicals to intervene in this cycle of discomfort has not been entirely effective, to say the least. A combination of factors such as emotional, mental, and social components also contribute to persistent discomfort. The way we respond to unpleasant stimuli can either make the sensations worse or better. These important factors are not being addressed by an approach that relies excessively on synthetic chemicals. We're realizing the impact of that approach and are aggressively moving away from it. We're actively looking for better solutions, and that's why we're here. So what is our solution? What will be our new direction and trajectory to help people find relief? One such solution is essential oils, which can help with the physical, emotional, mental, and social aspects that contribute to this cycle of discomfort. There are many supportive essential oils to help with occasional minor aches and more persistent unpleasant sensations, including ways that essential oils can augment other solutions we're using. We're currently moving toward promoting the philosophy of self-efficacy, or in other words, fostering the confidence in oneself and our intrinsic natural capacity to manage this discomfort cycle. This self-efficacy has been unequivocally proven existent, strong, and effective within the psyche of our patients, creating resilience that produces the ability to recover from setbacks and/or adapt in stressful, uncomfortable situations. Towards this end, education is the key to unleash these cognitive powers our patients have. Yes, we can train them in their ability to acknowledge, characterize, and qualify the unpleasant sensations they feel. We can teach them about fear management with the promise and understanding that their discomfort will evolve and improve if they engage it in emotionally healthy ways. This is the core principle of self-efficacy. In fact, this is the philosophy and solution trajectory espoused by my beloved American Academy of Orthopedic Surgery. Most recently, in 2017, the value of integrative, supportive use of essential oils was strongly promoted by the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgery in a paper published in the Journal of Bone and Joint Surgery, the greatest medical journal of all time. Specific protocols used as complementary solutions were formally endorsed as standard of care. Isn't that remarkable? Isn't that fabulous? For years, we've enjoyed protocols designed to provide relief that are pillars of Western allopathic medicine. Now, included within these FDA-approved pillars exist supportive, complementary modalities promoted by our most revered medical societies worldwide. Isn't that spectacular and exciting? Any other medical society or vertically integrated healthcare institution that doesn't adopt an integrative approach to discomfort management in a multidisciplinary way is derelict in its responsibilities to the patients they care for. That's a fact. Of course, pharmaceutical strategies will forever be part of our multidisciplinary approach. However, cognitive and mental strategies, as well as physical strategies employing supportive essential oils will likewise include clinically proven modalities such as guided imagery, meditation, Reiki, massage, and not the least of which, aromatherapy, or the clinical application of essential oils. The connection between discomfort and our emotional well-being is fascinating, and this is a core part of self-efficacy I discussed. The fact is, our emotional and mental response to unpleasant sensations can heighten the severity to which we perceive them. When we work to control our emotional response to discomfort, we can reduce it. Isn't that fascinating? For example, promoting a sense of relaxation and calm can dramatically diminish the unwelcome experience of physical discomfort. You can use complementary mental modalities to affect your natural response to various stimuli. We'll never entirely eradicate discomfort from our lives. However, we can take on these kinds of experiences in a multidisciplinary way. We can emphasize and tackle the physical, mental, emotional factors that contribute to the discomfort we all feel as part of the human experience. Although orthopedic surgeons aren't psychologists or psychiatrists, we indeed encounter the psychosocial aspects of human behavior in relation to overall well-being every day of our practices. We do care deeply about the well-being of our patients, and will integrate topical, inhaled, or ingested essential oils as a supportive part of our multidisciplinary, FDA-approved, board-endorsed pillars of managing our patients' overall health, well-being, particularly in times of distress. This is what I've done in my own practice. Recognizing the benefits of an integrative and multidisciplinary approach, I've enhanced my practice and therefore my patients' experience by incorporating essential oils. This approach leverages essential oils to assist, support, and maintain a positive emotional response in my patients. I've employed a full-time massage therapist for my office, trained in the aroma touch technique. Prior to consultation in the outpatient clinic setting, as well as the preoperative holding area before their surgical procedure, the patient is given a hand and forearm and foot and calf massage with 2 drops of the following 4 oils commingled in a carrier medium: frankincense, bergamot, lavender, and aromatouch blend. This massage has been remarkably soothing for patients as they are preparing for their surgical consultation or their operation. A Copaiba massage has provided excellent relief and supports the overall well-being of my patients, and a very soothing effect to the upper extremities and hands. Finally, all of my patients are given a Digest Zen soft gel in the post-anesthesia recovery unit, the PACU. The postoperative digestive discomfort so commonly associated with anesthesia can be considerably mitigated by the soothing, supportive effects of the 6 essential oils in this blend, specifically fennel, anise, coriander, caraway, peppermint, and ginger. So, what are the essential oil solutions to resolve this discomfort cycle we've been discussing and provide much needed relief? Early use of topical essential oils can be soothing to the mind and body during the cycle of discomfort, particularly when incorporated as part of a massage to the affected extremities. Some of my favorite essential oils that have been studied clinically, either alone or in combination with other essential oils, include ginger, lavender, peppermint, rosemary, and clary sage, all of which I use in my practice. And don't forget the blends Deep Blue and Aroma Touch. To support a healthy inflammatory response and attack persistent discomfort, I recommend Copaiba soft gels, turmeric dual chamber capsules, and yarrow palm. Taking these supplements provides broad support in the body. These solutions, working in tandem with traditional solutions, enjoy statistically significant efficacy within the context of supported human trials. So, here's to the future of essential oils and their soothing, supportive capacities for patients who are struggling with discomfort.
My name is Dr. Kelly Lancaster. I live in Bowie, Texas, and we live on a ranch with a bunch of horses and cows. I'm a chiropractor and also a clinical nutritionist. I've always been really impassioned about making someone else's life better. It's a pretty good day at work. But up until about 6 years ago, I had really no experience with essential oils at all. On May 24th of 2014, Dane, my youngest son, was involved in a horse injury. His horse was flipped and he was caught underneath and it crushed his skull.
In seconds, my goal in life was for Dane to live.
As I'm in the arena, on my knees, begging for the life of my child, I knew that it would take a miracle. Because of Dane's brain injury, he was paralyzed on his left side. So his left arm and his left leg, that side of his body, did not function.
We were being told that Dane would probably live the rest of his life in a nursing facility. My thought of what our future was going to be changed literally in a heartbeat.
As a mother, I struggled with significant fatigue, just stress and worry. What did the future hold for Dane? I found myself not even able to take care of myself because my only focus had to be him. Emotionally, I became very stressed, very overwrought. I knew I needed solutions, and oils very much helped me with that. The more I learned about oils, the more I learned about the great power and support that they could offer. I knew that I had to incorporate this into our family and into our lives. A friend of ours showed me how doTERRA could be part of what we offered our patients. It became something that we got very excited about, the opportunity to help someone else in this way.
When she started implementing the doTERRA products into her practice, I knew that the quality had to be there because I know her, I know my wife, I know that she would never sacrifice quality for any reason. That's her top priority.
We diffuse through our clinic every day. On Guard is going in every treatment room. We use great volumes of Deep Blue in my office. This has been how we introduce patients to doTERRA so that they are well and they stay well.
After Dane's injury, they told us because of the area of his brain that was injured, he would probably never speak again. The very next day after they told us this, Dane started talking.
What color is Rudy? What?
What color's Rudy?
Brown.
Yes!
Dad!
That's right! That's right! He's brown. Give me a high five.
Oh my goodness! Dang, that's awesome, buddy!
I used to tell him in the hospital, if he ever spoke, I would never tell him to be quiet again, and I've regretted those words many times.
Now, Dane is 17. He's living the life of a teenager.
He started not only competing, but he started winning. He started getting faster. He started getting stronger. All those hopes and dreams that I had for him pre-injury are starting to come back because he's just improving so much.
If you came to me asking me if doTERRA would be a good choice for you, I would tell you absolutely. For us, it's been life-changing. Not only from a personal perspective, but from a business perspective. It's changed how we do everything. doTERRA has been our restoration, and I know it can change other people's lives too.
Coming up soon, we'll be privileged to hear from Dr. David Hill, founding executive over science and healthcare, and he'll be diving in depth into Deep Blue. But first, Kristen Pardue, a registered dietitian and presidential diamond, shares with us one of the most important foundations for your health, your nutrition.
I get to talk to you about a healthy diet and how it helps with relief and healthy response levels in our bodies. Additionally, I'm going to share about using supplements to increase your energy and overall well-being. First, I wanted to share with you why I became so passionate about a healthy diet. A little over 10 years ago, I started having discomfort in my hands from systemic issues that caused inflammation. They were so swollen that I couldn't even make a fist with my hands. I didn't feel well, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. I went to my doctor who ran labs. The discomfort kept getting worse, and it spread all over my body. I was sent to many specialists and was put on medication after medication, but nothing helped. I kept getting worse. I couldn't sleep at night. I just sat in my bed and cried. My husband would pray over me that we would get answers. This went on for a while, and finally I took my health into my own hands. I did my own research, and I found that food could be medicine. I changed my diet. I cut out foods such as gluten and pasteurized dairy, and I fed my body real whole foods. I focused on detoxification to get heavy metals out of my body. And within a few months, I felt a huge shift. I felt better than ever. And I've been healthy ever since. A few years after this, I was introduced to doTERRA, the core wellness pyramid that teaches first you need to have a good diet as your foundation, and that really spoke to me. Today, I want to talk to you about a healthy diet to support a healthy inflammatory response. And then later, I'll talk to you about supplements to increase your energy. It's absolutely extremely important to do our part in keeping healthy inflammatory response levels in our bodies so that we can live a long, healthy life feeling our absolute best. The foods you eat and don't eat can determine how well your body handles responses and swelling that can lead to discomfort. Proper nutrition can help with occasional pain. It's the biggest factor you can change to provide relief. A lot of mild pain is a result of unhealthy inflammatory responses, and the evidence is quite strong that your diet can be a contributing factor. But the good news is that this means that your diet is also one of the best ways to reduce inflammation, and you are in control of your diet. The best dietary approach to help our immune system is to eat whole, fresh foods and cut out the processed, fried, and sugary foods. I like to tell people that with every bite that you take, you're either helping to feed challenges or prevent challenges. And of course, we don't have to eat perfectly, but I would definitely make at least 80% of what you eat be foods that are going to help support your body. Okay, let's talk about what foods can cause challenges and what foods can fight against them. Many of the bad foods are processed junk foods with low nutritional value. These would be things in a package with a long list of ingredients that are hard to pronounce. Other foods that can cause inflammation are sugar and high fructose corn syrup. Cutting out or at least limiting sugar can provide relief to your body. Fried foods, these cause swelling because of the trans fats in them. According to one study in the Journal of Nutrition, increased consumption of trans fatty acids was associated with higher levels of markers of inflammation, including C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6. Processed meat may also be an issue, so try to buy fresh meat from a local farmer or organic meat from your local grocery store. Refined carbohydrates such as pasta, white bread, cookies, crackers are notorious as some of the top foods that can cause discomfort in your joints. These foods undergo extensive processing, stripping them of beneficial nutrients. Refined carbohydrates also tend to have a higher glycemic index, which is used to measure how quickly foods increase your blood sugar levels, which can be an issue even in healthy adults. Vegetable oils, especially those high in omega-6 fatty acids such as corn, soy, and canola, can induce the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines. Excessive alcohol can cause many issues. And lastly, for people with sensitivities to casein and gluten, pasteurized cow's milk and gluten can cause discomfort and swelling. Many people are sensitive to pasteurized cow's milk and gluten and don't even realize it. If someone is living with unknown discomfort in their body, I would recommend that they get off pasteurized cow's milk and gluten for 4 to 6 weeks to see if they feel better. A healthy, well-rounded diet should be made up of mostly nutrient-dense, whole foods, including fruits, veggies, nuts, sprouted seeds and legumes, herbs, spices, healthy fats, and protein. When it comes to the good foods that support and give comfort to the body, it's important to get a variety of them so you don't miss out on the vital nutrients your immune system and body needs. When we think about comfort, let's turn to foods that actually provide soothing relief to our bodies. Some healthy foods that you can include in your diet are green leafy vegetables, wild-caught salmon, broccoli, beets, celery, blueberries, pineapple, bone broth, walnuts, tart cherries, chia seeds and flax seeds, turmeric, and ginger. Even when we do our best to eat healthy, soil depletion has caused crops to not be as rich in vitamins and nutrients as our ancestors' food was. Also, our gut health has been compromised over the years from medications and chemicals that we've been exposed to in our food and in our environment. So don't worry if you get a few more leafy greens than planned. Again, remember to not stress about diet. Focus on eating 80% real, fresh, whole foods and leave a little bit of room to be flexible. In addition to talking about diet, I said I would give you some tips on my favorite doTERRA products. It's important for people to take high-quality supplements. The Lifelong Vitality Pack vitamins were formulated to support our bodies with essential nutrients that are not always present in the foods that we eat. And did you know that stress can deplete our body of nutrients? Another reason to take the Lifelong Vitality Pack, which we call LLV for short. LLV was originally designed to help provide those dietary nutrients that are commonly deficient in modern-day diets by helping us naturally ease discomfort and support energy levels. I'm going to be honest, as a dietitian, I'm very picky about what supplements I take. I wouldn't take LLV at first because I already had vitamins that I loved, but finally one day I thought to myself, everyone keeps raving about these vitamins, I'll just try them, and if they don't work, I'll return them. Well, I took them, and after a few weeks on them, I went from having to take a nap every day when my toddler napped to not needing naps anymore. I was sleeping better and having more energy and motivation. I couldn't believe how much more energy I had. I felt amazing, and I even got my husband on them. He was working full-time and then doing school in the evenings. LLV helped him be able to manage on very little sleep during that season. Well, then we ran out of them. My husband fell asleep at work and then texted me saying, "When is the mailman coming? I need my vitamins." They work so well and we love them. With the Lifelong Vitality Pack, you get your multivitamin from Microplex VMC, your omega-3 fatty acids from XE Omega, and then there's Alpha CRS, which is full of antioxidants and potent levels of natural botanical extracts that support healthy cell function with important metabolic factors of cellular energy. Here are just a few of the many ways the nutrients, botanical extracts, and omega-3 fatty acids contained in the LLV may support optimal wellness and vitality. Supports a healthy inflammatory response, promotes cellular longevity and youthful cell function, supports energy metabolism, supports cardiovascular, digestive, nervous, and respiratory system health, the health of your brain and bones, proper immune system function, and healthy management of stress. Healthy hair, skin, and nails. It truly does make your hair and nails grow faster. And it's very gentle on the stomach. Nutrition and high-quality supplementation are absolutely key to sustaining healthy bodies. So if you or a loved one are struggling like I used to, I promise you that there's hope. My own journey is proof of that. Our bodies can do amazing things if we give them the right tools. So give your body what it needs to thrive and feel better than you ever have. Thank you.
There was a turning point in my career when one of my trainers introduced me to Deep Blue Rub, and I specifically remember this game because it was against USC, our biggest rival. I remember putting Deep Blue on my knees before the big match, and I couldn't believe the relief I felt. I finally felt like I could jump without the fear of how my body would feel when I hit the ground, and I hadn't felt that way since high school. It's amazing what can happen when powerful resources are available. And to walk us through those resources, Dr. David Hill.
Here we are again, and once again, it's a great pleasure to be with you. I hope you're enjoying everything that you're learning and the information that's being shared. Now, since we only have a few minutes together, I'd like to get right to our discussion about Deep Blue. Now, I know that all of you are probably familiar with Deep Blue and all of the Deep Blue products. However, I think it's always great to receive a bit more detailed information. Deep Blue was one of our very first blends formulated in the early days of doTERRA. And for many reasons, it's become a source of trusted relief for everyone. Initially, we began with Deep Blue as an individual oil blend, but over time, we've added additional products like the Deep Blue Rub, the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex, and of course, the Deep Blue Roll-On. Now, each of the products complement each other and fulfill an individual role meant to enhance overall value and usage of the Deep Blue product line. For example, the Deep Blue blended oil has fast-acting properties when applied directly wherever it's needed. The rub contains Deep Blue oil, and it has additional components and has a longer-lasting, more deeply penetrating benefit. Now, the polyphenol complex is a bit different in that it's formulated specifically to help the body maintain a normal, healthy, inflammatory response. And lastly, the roll-on adds the benefits of the oil blend in a pre-diluted form for easy use on the go, and it's for the entire family. Now at doTERRA, we've been consistent in our efforts to provide products that support you in your personal approach to wellness. So let's take a few minutes now and let's just understand a little bit more in greater detail while I believe adding Deep Blue to your wellness regimen can be very meaningful. Now there's many reasons why we have need for what I would call soothing relief. And so I'm going to refer to these needs as a cycle, understanding that many times we have one or more reasons which are disrupting to our personal comfort. In fact, there are 3 well-known reasons why that occurs. The first, and it is in general the most common and one that we've all experienced in one way or another, is that we have some type of an immediate concern. A normal part of that response to the body, it's a healing process, and it has inflammation and a concomitant discomfort which we then experience. Both of which, among other things, are meant to stabilize the area, alert us of the problem, and infiltrate the area with healing activities such as particular cells or tissue remodeling. All of us at one time or another have experienced this type of situation. Now, we also undergo this type of condition on a much milder scale, such as after a strong exercise session or strenuous activity. While not as overwhelming as an injury, this process mimics similar patterns of microinflammation and possibility of discomfort. I've recognized over the years that oftentimes, if you're like me, we react to our needs only when they become apparent or bothersome. So one key point I would like to make, and it's not singular to the Deep Blue product line, but it is significant, and that is that Deep Blue actually fits into an active lifestyle, and it's helpful in daily uses as well as when obvious needs arise. Now, the second element of this cycle that we spoke of is our body's immune response. Now, earlier, yesterday, I talked with you a lot about immunity, and I know that you understand much of the immune response in the body. So as previously mentioned in that discussion and others, you now know that inflammation is a valuable asset for recovery. And once again, your body will respond with its healing capabilities. Unfortunately, discomfort is oftentimes a part of that process as well. Now, the last stage of the cycle, and something you'll learn a little bit more about in the coming discussions that we'll have in this event, is a cycle secondary to circumstances of the body, such as various forms of emotional unrest. Many individuals have physical responses which are uncomfortable subsequent to the circumstances of lasting stress or disruptions in mental wellness. So as a point of interest, in each of these steps within the cycle lies a common denominator. And the denominator is that of inflammation and the potential for discomfort in varying degrees. Understanding that there are 3 individual concepts in the cycle of discomfort, and the outcomes associated with them are similar, although circumstances specified for those outcomes can be very different, it becomes much easier to understand the usage of each of the Deep Blue products that I mentioned earlier. A good example of this is the Deep Blue Rub, the oil blend, the roll-on. They're all meant primarily to be used topically during the first phase of the cycle, which is acute issues or some type of strenuous activity. However, the polyphenol complex is a little bit different. It's meant to be used internally, and it's helpful supporting a normal inflammation response for all phases of the cycle. Now, another way to think of this is that Deep Blue products are meant to be used consistently. This is the mistake that oftentimes we make. We use things episodically when the greater value comes by using them with great consistency. Now, as is always the case, I'd like to exercise a moment of good judgment and give a reminder that in many situations it is wise to understand the complete nature of the circumstance. And while our products may be helpful and in and of themselves, and I will tell you, I believe they are helpful, that they also support other therapies and modalities which we may choose to pursue. I believe the purity of our products lend themselves to this naturally, and more, doTERRA is at the center of this powerful model of integration into mainstream therapies and healthcare as a whole. I'd like to take just a moment and say thank you to the many partners we have around the world who are participating with us in this way. Good science, good methodology only serves to help us improve our understanding and the benefits that we can expect. Now, since the Deep Blue blend is central to our Deep Blue products, let's take a closer look at how the oil was blended. Many of the oils in this blend have obvious benefit, but remember that when we blend essential oils together, we spoke about this before, we can enhance and amplify the benefit that we receive. In science, this principle is referred to as synergy. Now, I know you're familiar with that, but as a reminder, that is to say that while the individual oil found within this blend, in and of themselves, are helpful, collectively, they're more likely to meet our expectations. Now, one of the things I like about this unique blend of oils is that it follows patterns that make sense to us, sometimes out of our own experience, but also by evaluating them through research. Mainly for my own purposes, I have always thought to use and understand oils better, I should categorize them. Now, we had a discussion earlier yesterday where I talked about categorizing oils by chemistry. And so, of course, there are many ways that we can do this. Now, I'm not going to talk about chemistry, but we can look at the components of chemistry, such as terpenes and functional chemistry groups, like alcohols and ketones, and many of the others that we've already mentioned. But we can also classify by aroma. For example, the citrus and mint family of oils, we know them to be strongly aromatic, and that's one of the reasons why they remain as some of our favorites. We can also classify by action. Is the oil uplifting or is it soothing? One method I found to be helpful is to classify the oils by groups. So I'll give you an example. Mint oils, citrus oils, flower, herbaceous, tree, and spice oils. The essential oils in Deep Blue divide nicely into plant groups. Although this method is not perfect, it does serve as an additional way we can begin to expand our ability to use essential oils as a whole, rather than just those with which we are most familiar. Now, I should point out that there are many oils which could provide similar benefits and that are found throughout plant groups as a whole. For example, spice oils like cinnamon, cassia, or thyme. They have a warming benefit, which is soothing to the tissues. Herbaceous and grass oils like marjoram or lemongrass have a similar benefit. There are also many essential oils which can support the body's normal inflammation response, which is always helpful. You may have your favorites, or from time to time have created your own blend. I feel this is a great way to take advantage of your own personal preference and experience. But remember, in the Deep Blue blend, oils were chosen specifically for their collective properties. Synergy is a guiding principle in all the doTERRA blends. Now, Deep Blue comprises 3 very specific plant groups by category, with each oil being chosen for its specific chemistry within that category. And those categories, those groups, are mint, tree, and floral oils. Now, I know that those categories become very broad because we could subdivide those categories and not just say tree. We could say tree, and we could talk about resins and a number of other things or components. But in general, those categories work very well. And each one has purpose and adds to the overall value of the Deep Blue blend. So let's talk first about wintergreen essential oil. I know you're familiar with it. It's one of my favorites, and I'm certain it's one of yours as well. Wintergreen oil contains a compound known as methyl salicylate. Now, I lied to you. I told you I wasn't going to talk about chemistry, and if you haven't figured it out yet, I always talk about chemistry. But in this case, I'm only going to mention some of the strongest compounds that provide the greatest benefit that when they combine together is useful for Deep Blue as a whole. Methyl salicylate has a soothing sensation along with an uplifting aroma. Now, methyl salicylate, which in wintergreen is proportionally high, produces a calming and a deeply penetrating sensation, especially when we apply it topically. Peppermint remains one of my favorite essential oils and has a wide variety of uses. You're familiar with many of them, and I have confidence that you use peppermint in many of the same ways that I do. Among many others, it's used to support proper respiratory activity and digestion. Now, for a long time, my friends have all teased me, and they all call me the Peppermint Man. Now, I suppose that has happened for good reason. I almost always, 100% of the time, have peppermint with me. I love peppermint, and I still use it regularly for many different reasons. For the purposes of this blend, however, peppermint was an excellent choice due to its content of both menthol and menthone. And so if you've ever used peppermint, I'm sure that you have noticed its profound cooling sensation. I also enjoy the invigorating aroma of peppermint. It's always uplifting. Now, the third oil in this blend is the oil of camphor. I'd like to spend just a minute and talk with you about camphor. Now, I'm going to share an experience that I had many years ago. In fact, it was not too long after we had introduced Deep Blue, and I had really begun to appreciate the effectiveness it had for many. Deep Blue was one of the first oils that I had the opportunity to go out and begin sharing with other individuals. And on one occasion, in a discussion with several, a woman challenged me on the formulation of Deep Blue, suggesting that camphor oil was unsafe and should not be used. She expressed that she was concerned that she had read camphor has toxic chemistry. Now, I don't want to catch you off guard, and it may surprise you when I tell you, as I did her, that she was correct. So let me explain. Like many essential oils, oftentimes there's different species and different chemotypes. This is also true with camphor oil. Generally, there are 4 well-known types of camphor. They're referred to as white, brown, yellow, and blue camphor. Very creative, as you can see. Unlike white camphor, the brown, yellow, and blue varieties of camphor do have toxicity concerns. Therefore, white camphor becomes the most acceptable for aromatherapy and essential oil practices. She was completely unaware of this distinction. I would ask you to have confidence in our efforts at doTERRA. Although she was personally unfamiliar with these differences, we're keenly aware. In our pursuit of what's pure, our constant vigilance of CPTG standards, and our ever-growing scientific research opportunities, we continue in new discovery and gained expertise against the backdrop, of course, of safety and efficacy. Now, I oftentimes take a few moments to thank individuals, and I would like to thank the many scientists, the chemists, and the physicians who work tirelessly in our behalf. I thank them for their expertise and their constant efforts, and it's my privilege and my pleasure to work with them. Now, camphor is a tree oil, and so I'd like to mention 2 specific constituents of camphor, limonene, which you're already familiar with, and 1,8-cineol. Now, you'll remember limonene is this monoterpene, and we talked about its wonderful benefits in helping the body to protect itself. 1,8-cineol is also in oils like eucalyptus, and it adds to the soothing properties and cooling effect of Deep Blue when used topically. Now let's talk lastly about 5 different flower oils that are found in this blend. Now we can make a broad statement about flower oils, and we can say that generally they're very relaxing and they're calming. They're used in many different blends in doTERRA, and I'm certain the flower oils are some of your favorite oils. A key point to remember is that flower oils are relaxing to the body, soothing to the tissues, calming to the emotions, and replenishing to the skin. So you can see that they have a very broad spectrum of activity associated with them. They're an important addition to this blend because of their relaxing and soothing nature. So let's begin by talking about 3 of the 5. Let's talk about ylang-ylang, helichrysum, and osmanthus. Now, as the case with every oil in this blend, remember that we're working for synergy. Each one has constituents which is helpful for bringing soothing relief and support. Now, it seems a bit unusual to have so many different flower oils in one blend. However, remember, it's a feature of nearly all oils in the floral category to be relaxing to the body as a whole. Ylang-ylang, for example, contains beta-caryophyllene or beta-caryophyllene. You can say it either way. One of the primary chemical constituents that's also found in doTERRA's copaiba oil. Now, we've had much discussion about copaiba, so that should draw you to some immediate conclusions as to why we put ylang-ylang in this blend. The support this constituent provides is well understood. Now, when combined with gamma-curcumin and helichrysum and the ketones found with osmanthus, the overall chemical influence is soothing and relaxing to the tissues. So let's talk about chamomile oils for just a brief moment. Now, there's 3 different types of chamomile oils. You're probably familiar with all of them. However, we only use 2 of them in the deep blue blend. And the 2 that we use are Moroccan chamomile, which is commonly known as blue tansy, and German chamomile, which is referred to as blue chamomile. Now, there's some differences and duplication between these 2 chamomile essential oils. Now, deep blue has its beautiful color because of these 2 oils. Samageline, which is found in both of the oils, is very soothing to the body and provides that deep bluish green color. Now, it's a shared constituent between both oils. It is an especially important compound when the need arises to soothe and calm the tissues. Relaxation of the tissues is equally important since irritated tissues can feel tense and they can feel very stressed. Now, another interesting note is the difference in terpene content between each of these 2, what I'll refer to now as blue oils, the chamomile oils. Blue tansy is mainly comprised of monoterpenes with some sesquiterpene content, while blue chamomile is nearly all sesquiterpenes and only has a very small amount of monoterpenes. Now, this may seem unimportant, and maybe because it's chemistry, because here we are again. Although I'm speaking in very broad terms, these differences mean something very specific and important to us. And that is that the potential enhanced for faster acting and longer lasting outcomes because of those differences is substantially increased. Although there can be many reasons why we experience discomfort, there are things we can do to help mitigate their expression. And that's an important concept to remember, especially when we add to it. Be consistent in your approach and seek to understand your individual needs. Ask for appropriate help. Seek the guidance of others when necessary. I believe that when we fully engage in our own health practices, when we improve lifestyle, when we provide proper nutrition and utilize the benefits of essential oils, change and improvement is always possible. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you. I wish each of you happiness and health in all of your endeavors. Our commitment to you is unwavering. It's a pleasure to know you and to serve you. I look forward to a time when we're together again. Thank you for spending a few moments with me.
I could listen to Dr. Hill speak all day long, and some days I do. We can't talk about deep blue without first talking about one of the hero oils that make this blend so effective. doTERRA sources 160 different oils, and I get asked all the time, which one is my favorite? Of course, I love them all, and my favorites are determined by what I'm dealing with in the moment. That's what I love about oils, is we always get to choose which one is calling to us in that moment. It's kind of like asking which child is my favorite. It all depends on how well they're behaving at any given time. So can you guess which oil in deep blue has earned hero status at my house? I can depend on this oil to perform every single time without fail. You don't hear a lot about it, but it's a very, very precious oil. Even its name depicts just how special it is. The translation of this oil's name is golden sun. Do you know what oil it is yet? It's helichrysum. We talked about helichrysum touch earlier as we revealed new products. We're really excited to make this precious oil available in a touch version, which makes application really simple and easy and the price more economical. Now let me share with you why I love helichrysum so much. I was recently paddle boating across a lake with my husband. It was a beautiful summer day. The birds were chirping. We were holding hands. It was one of those romantic moments. The kids weren't there. My husband asked me to wash his sunglasses so he could see better. So we stopped paddling, and I obliged. He had some dirt that I couldn't get off with my shirt, so I stood up and dipped the glasses in the water. Just as I brought them out of the water, my husband decided to start paddling again at warp speed. He didn't realize my shin was directly in front of my foot puddle. Needless to say, there was a massive explosion, and the romantic mood was gone. I tried really hard to be brave, but my shin bone felt like something had exploded. There may have been some tears that fell as Corey quickly paddled us back to shore. I hobbled across the rocks and went for my bottle of helichrysum and applied it directly to my shin. I grabbed a baggie of ice and propped it on top of my leg. Relief came immediately. Not completely, but enough that I could breathe. At this point, I decided that was a good time to get lost in a good book. So I read as I let the helichrysum and ice work their magic. I didn't even bruise, and the gnarly knot that I had when I came out of the lake went away completely. I could tell you countless stories about using helichrysm, from nosebleeds to emotional exhaustion and so much in between. Helichrysm has a rich history. Besides golden sun, it is also known as everlasting and immortal. These golden flowers grow in steep mountain slopes and do not wilt, which is how it got its nicknames. In ancient times, helichrysum was used as an anti-aging skin nourisher and has been used for generations to rejuvenate skin. It's no wonder that it is one of the most restorative essential oils, especially for skin. The particular species that we source contains a unique chemical constituent called idalidiones. This constituent is not found in any other essential oil, including any other helichrysum oils. Sharing chemical qualities such as alpha-pinene with frankincense and arbor vitae, the addition of idalidiones makes helichrysum an exceptional oil for tissue rejuvenation. Helichrysum also has rejuvenating benefits on a cellular level and creates a more youthful appearance, an effect on your skin externally, and a youthful effect on your cells internally. The use of helichrysum has been shown to reduce pro-inflammatory enzymes, which in turn helps lessen redness and swelling. Let me share a few of my favorite ways to use helichrysum. First of all, I love it as a spot treatment. I'll put it on my face, right, as I wash my face and before I apply my moisturizer. Any of those dark spots on my face or problem areas, I love to use that as a spot treatment. Bloody noses. I will either apply it directly under the nose or on a tissue and put it up into the nostrils to provide some really great relief that way. Also, for nerve discomfort, you can add it in with a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, or you can use the helichrysum touch, which is already diluted in fractionated coconut oil, and apply it topically wherever the need is. The aroma of helichrysum has powerful emotional benefits. It inspires courage and gives one strength to conquer anger, fear, resentment, and release negative emotions that plague so many of us. As the mother of two very rambunctious boys, I've seen a few broken bones in my day. Helichrysum's restorative properties have been a lifesaver at our house. I like to layer it with Siberian fir and top it off with wintergreen. It's no wonder it is one of the superheroes to the deep blue blend. And now we have it available in touch form, so it is more affordable and accessible than ever before. Every home needs to have this beautiful oil. You just never know when you're going to need it. It is said that a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. That's probably how you felt about helichrysum before today. And while it might not be one of your favorite oils yet, it's just because you haven't spent enough time with it. So now that you've learned all of its amazing benefits, I can't wait for you to fall in love with helichrysum just as I have.
Deep Blue and Helichrysum are some of my favorite products. It's been amazing to learn more about them. Also, it's been so fun to see how global our audience is. Thank you to everyone who shared where they're joining us from. Keep posting. You'll be happy to hear, in addition to our Relief Kit giveaway, we have another fun product giveaway. At the end of this session, we're going to have a quick quiz show after our very last speaker. By participating, you'll have the chance to win even more amazing products. So be sure to watch until the end. Until then, we're going to spend a few minutes with some highly qualified individuals who have an absolute wealth of information about using natural products and holistic methods to find relief. So welcome, David, Doris, and Tim. We're so excited to have you here. Seeing you all together is a little surreal just because I know how much experience and expertise you collectively have. Thank you for taking some time to share your professional insight on how doTERRA products can be used effectively in the field, in the office, in the training room, and at home. Doris, thanks so much for being with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do and where you're working right now?
Thank you for having me. So my name is Doris Martel. I'm a neuromuscular therapist. I've been working in the NBA for 10 years, and currently I'm with the team Philadelphia 76ers. So we're right now in what we call the bubble, the Orlando bubble, to finish the season and start playing the playoffs.
David, we're so excited to have you here at your very first convention. Tell the audience a little bit about your line of work and what brought you to Prime Meridian. What does a day of work look like for you?
Well, thank you for having me. It is an honor to be here with each of you, with Doris and Tim and Bree with you as well. I'm a physical therapist and a certified strength and conditioning specialist, and have spent most of my time in private practice over the last 20 years. And then after returning back to Utah, I was kind of brought to Prime Meridian because I love their combination of Eastern and Western medicine coming together to try to provide the best patient experience for people. I love that focus. There's a quote by Benjamin Franklin that says, "An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure." And if you think about what that really means, it's great to get out in front of things versus just practicing reactive medicine all the time. And I really believe that that's what doTERRA, as well as what Prime Meridian is trying to do, is empower people to take control of their health as much as possible. And I think that's a really wonderful kind of goal, as well as a kind of a stance for this business and the things that we're doing to really make a difference in people's lives. So that's what drove me to make a decision to come here.
That's incredible. Thank you, David. Tim, we're so glad to have you back with us. Can you start us off by telling us how doTERRA has played a part in your life?
Yes, for me, first of all, taking care of my body so I could do what I do at a high level on the field and prioritizing recovery, but then also having a family and making sure I was able to take care of my family, to find something to help me take care of my body, take care of my family, and then connect me with people all around the world. Community is very important to me, so that's what led me to doTERRA, and that's what excites me about being a part of doTERRA.
I love that. That's incredible. And I know you use doTERRA products on a daily basis. So what are some of your go-to supplements and why?
Yeah, that depends on how I'm feeling for the day and what I need. But really consistently, it's the Deep Blue, whether that's topically, whether that's ingesting it, copaiba, turmeric, those things, just getting rid of that discomfort. I'm very active in my day. And so as quickly as I can get rid of any type of discomfort in my body and return back to peak performance, it allows me to be at my best. So those, I would say, Deep Blue, copaiba, and turmeric, those three I'm probably using every day, and then we'll go from there depending on how my body's feeling.
Doris, I'd love to hear from you about what doTERRA products and supplements you found to be most useful in your field.
I use the oil in 3 different ways. So I kind of like to use them as an assistant, like an extra tool that I would have in my bag. And I kind of like use them like if they would help me achieve the goal that I'm trying to have. The first goal is bringing the guys on the table to get treatments. And the treatment that I give are really painful. So one way of doing that is diffusing. For example, Breathe is like my number one number one oil that I like to use. And I like to diffuse it because when they smell it, they now kind of associate the smell with I'm going to get a treatment and I'm going to feel better and I'm going to get better. So it's kind of like the inviting oil. I love the smell of it. It's fresh. It's really pleasing and relaxing. And then I've been like trying different type of oils, and then the players also have their own preference. So sometimes they ask me, you know, can you try this oil? And then I also use the oil to help my work, to help my touch and whatever I'm doing to work better. So I love Copaiba and I love Deep Blue, either the oil or the Deep Blue rub. Sometimes I mix the three of them together. And it really helps, the cooling effect really help with what I'm trying to achieve with them. And I like to also give them to take internally peppermint and ginger. It seems like it helps a lot with digestion and like giving them a little bit more of a kick, it looks like.
That is really cool, Doris. I love that. What's some of the most common feedback you hear about Deep Blue from the athletes that you work with?
They love Deep Blue. So I know that the recommendation is to use it post exercise or practice or game, but a lot of them like it pre exercise because they tell me that they like the cooling effect, the tingling effect that it gives them, and they tell me that it helps them like stay focused and give them like a little bit of kick of energy to stay awake during their exercise or game or whatever. So they really like Deep Blue for that effect. And then I use it also post game, you know, for flushes, for example, and the smell is really relaxing and it really helps the body recover better.
I love that. I love that. Thank you, Doris. David, tell us how you've used essential oils and supplements to help your clients find comfort and relief. Do you have any unique advice you can share about how you use doTERRA products in your work?
Yeah, thanks. You know, my first exposure to doTERRA was through Deep Blue. You know, you've heard that and through many of us, and we've used it on patients. It was actually brought to me by a patient and said, hey, why don't you try this? And as I tried it, it was amazing for me to see the response of people. They loved how it felt. You know, it helped them in terms of improving their function. So I'm always a big fan of those things that work. And then shortly after I joined Prime Meridian, I was in a mountain bike accident and I broke my clavicle and had to have surgery to get it fixed. And because, you know, there's stuff here in the clinic, they were like, you need to make sure that you're taking the Deep Blue polyphenol ingestibles as well as the Copaiba soft gels. And as I did that, I was really surprised at how well it helped me in my recovery from my clavicle fracture. And so I can speak from my own experience of having it work on my own body, as well as countless other patients who have had positive experiences with Deep Blue, that these things really work. And it helps people return to function and try to improve function as well. My piece of advice that I would give to our audience is simply that you want to be curious about your body. You want to be, you know, doing those things that would improve your health and maximize, you know, what you're doing in life as much as possible. And so as you use different products and try different modalities, you know, it's a great way to figure out what works best for my body and go do those things. Create habits in your life, whether that's exercise, you know, stretching, and some of the products that we offer here, to make sure that you're trying to get the most out of your daily function and try to keep your function as good as it can be for as long as it can be.
Thanks again, everyone. We loved having you here, and until next time. Up next, we'll hear from 2 science experts about more of your favorite doTERRA supplements.
Hello, doTERRA friends. Over the last few years, you've heard about copaiba, an amazing essential oil that comes from the resin of large trees in the tropical rainforests of South America. This type of tree has been used by people in the region for its restorative properties and support of overall well-being. One of the many reasons people get so excited about copaiba essential oil is because it's a rich source of beta-caryophyllene. Beta-caryophyllene is a well-researched cannabinoid and sesquiterpene. If you've already read up on copaiba, you know about cannabinoids, but I'll quickly review it so the information is fresh. Beta-caryophyllene is supportive of multiple systems in the body. This is because it binds to receptors in the endocannabinoid system. If you remember my presentation from last year, you'll recall that this system is a series of receptors, enzymes, and molecules that help maintain homeostasis. It's basically a stabilizing system that works collaboratively with other body systems to help us stay healthy. The receptors that beta-caryophyllene binds to are predominantly found on immune cells, and the immune system regulates our inflammatory response. Now, you might also remember from last year that beta-caryophyllene works on various other pathways to support your overall well-being, so not all of its benefits come from regulating the endocannabinoid system. Let's talk for a minute about the innate immune system. The innate immune system coordinates your inflammatory response as a protective mechanism. You might think that inflammation is bad, but it's actually your body's necessary and normal response to injuries and infections. In this way, short-term inflammation is a good thing because it helps fight invaders and assists us in the healing process. The key is to support this defensive inflammatory response, which includes helping it resolve after a threat has ended, because prolonged inflammation can be harmful. Supporting a healthy inflammatory response is also important for your general comfort, because inflammation can activate cells in the nervous system that send signals of discomfort to the brain. The brain and spinal cord constantly receive signals from peripheral nerves throughout the body. Additionally, the brain and spinal cord send signals to muscles that coordinate movement. These patterns of signals develop through practice and use, which explains how we learn skills like riding a bike or playing a musical instrument. Doing something repeatedly actually changes the brain because it forms new connections between brain cells. When you learn something new or practice a skill you already have, the two-way communication between peripheral nerves and the central nervous system either forms new connections or makes existing neural pathways weaker or stronger. So what happens when these connections in the nervous system are disrupted or malfunction? Well, that's when we start to experience broader or longer lasting discomfort. In essence, sensors on cells in your muscles become short-circuited, causing the central nervous system to make signals of discomfort stronger. Think of this process in relation to your car horn. You have a pad on your steering wheel that can be pressed. This pad is like the sensors in your muscles and other areas of the body outside the brain. When you press the pad, a circuit is activated that sends a signal to the horn under the hood. The horn, in this case, being your brain. In response, the horn sends communication back, which is the sound of your horn. If you continue to hold down the pad and send the signal, the noise from the horn persists. Similarly, in some circumstances, your peripheral nervous system can malfunction and begin to constantly send signals to the brain. These signals create a louder signal of discomfort that is sent back from the brain. It's like someone's constantly pressing the horn pad of your peripheral nervous system. Copaiba essential oil does a remarkable job of supporting a healthy inflammatory response so that this response can do its protective job and resolve appropriately. Think about that for a moment. I'm sure many of you are reaching for your Copaiba soft gels right now. This is truly a must-use essential oil. And its support of a healthy inflammatory response is just one of many benefits. Copaiba also supports healthy function of the peripheral and central nervous systems, so it can send and receive normal signals without amplifying them. When it's ingested, whether in the form of soft gels or with a drop under the tongue, it provides a significant amount of beta-caryophyllene. The beta-caryophyllene can bind to CB2 receptors in the immune system and in the muscles and bones, in turn helping support a healthy inflammatory response and healthy nervous system responses. Once bound to these CB2 receptors, it activates them and promotes overall body comfort and relief. Because of its influence on normal activities in the immune, nervous, and musculoskeletal systems, Copaiba is a great choice when you want relief from occasional discomforts. In addition to beta-caryophyllene, Copaiba oil contains other key constituents like alpha-humulene and trans-alpha-bergamottine, which have similar properties and create a synergy with beta-caryophyllene to support a healthy inflammatory response and quiet occasional minor aches. Now that we know more about the soothing benefits of Copaiba, let's talk about how to use it effectively. One of the easiest ways is to take Copaiba soft gels daily. You can take one soft gel as needed. Each soft gel has roughly 2 drops of Copaiba essential oil. For regular support, we recommend taking Copaiba soft gel in the morning and at night. During times when you need extra support, you can take 2 soft gels more frequently. Besides the relief that Copaiba soft gels provide, they also support the nervous, cardiovascular, immune, and digestive systems. This is because CB2 receptors are located in major organs throughout these systems. The key to relief with Copaiba is consistency. You need to take it daily and consistently to maximize the benefits. You can also drop 1 or 2 drops from the 15 milliliter bottle directly on or under your tongue. Start with 1 drop twice daily, so morning and evening, and adjust from there according to your needs. Taking Copaiba this way allows for quick and direct access to your bloodstream because of the rich supply of capillaries under the tongue. Copaiba also has great topical benefits. This oil is known for its ability to enhance the absorption of other fat-soluble substances, like essential oils, through the skin. This helps improve the efficiency of other oils that work in a similar manner. For instance, if you want to improve the appearance of your skin, this is a great essential oil to utilize. Simply combine 3 to 5 drops each of Copaiba, frankincense, and sandalwood in a 10 milliliter roller bottle and fill the rest with fractionated coconut oil. Then roll on to any trouble spots or stressed skin to promote healthy-looking skin. If your body is really feeling that hard workout you just finished, rub a few drops of Deep Blue into the muscles, then layer a couple of drops of Copaiba on top of this, followed by covering the application with carrier oil. This layered approach creates a synergy that leads to greater comfort. If you're looking to unwind at the end of the day, massage doTERRA Balance or doTERRA Serenity into your feet with a drop or 2 of Copaiba. The combinations you can use to make things better with Copaiba are virtually endless. The unique composition of Copaiba essential oil, which is almost entirely sesquiterpenes, makes it an oil that every home should have. And for those of us in our mid-30s or older, regular ingestion of Copaiba can improve our overall wellness and make sure that we don't miss life's important events. Try it for yourself, and I think you'll agree that things are better with Copaiba.
Lots of things are better in pairs. Salt and pepper, Batman and Robin, chocolate and peanut butter, and curcuminoids and turmerones. That's why we created the turmeric duo caps. Turmeric is a special plant. It is one of the most recognized, studied, and widely used natural products throughout the world. With over 6,000 scientific publications on turmeric alone, there's plenty of reason to be using this product each and every day, which is why we created the turmeric duo caps. This is an incredible product that has been specially formulated to support a healthy inflammatory response in your body. One of the reasons this product is possible is because of its dual capsule design. This specialized delivery system allows the capsule to provide you with all the best that turmeric has to offer. It took us nearly 3 years of experimenting to perfect this dual capsule design. Because of this unique delivery, you are able to get both curcuminoids and turmerones in the same capsule. The curcuminoids come from the powder extract, while the turmeric essential oil delivers the turmerones. When curcuminoids and turmerones are combined, they are far more powerful than either one alone at providing support for your inflammatory response. Nature had it right in the beginning to put both of these compounds together. Since we introduced this product a year ago, many people have found daily use of turmeric dual chamber capsules to be the most effective usage pattern. Others have had a great experience using this product on an as-needed basis. We invite you to use these unique capsules in the way you benefit the most. From one hero to the next, The Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex is like Superman of supplements. It is always ready when called on. In fact, it's one of our most popular products and has been in the Deep Blue family since 2015. It's my mom's favorite doTERRA product. In fact, some days she likes it better than she likes some of my siblings. It has a unique combination of broad-spectrum, powerful botanicals, including frankincense, ginger, turmeric, pomegranate, green tea, grapeseed, and Polygonum cuspidatum, each standardized to powerful, effective bioactive compounds. Realizing that frankincense delivers acetyl-11 beta-boswellic acids, ginger delivers potent gingerols, turmeric delivers a complete curcuminoid complex, pomegranate delivers antioxidant flavonoids, and we finish with catechins, proanthocyanidins, and resveratrol. It is little wonder Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex is one of our hero products. This product can do incredible things for occasional discomfort. For those of you looking to capitalize regularly on all this hero has to offer, you may want to use this product daily as a maintenance product. For others, it might be enough for you to use 2 capsules before a workout in order to support muscle and joint comfort. In either case, you are sure to experience great benefits and relief. Using the polyphenol complex internally in conjunction with a rub topically is one way to get maximum relief. The polyphenol complex soothes occasional aches and discomfort, while the rub provides a warming and cooling effect that can be extremely comforting after a long day. If you are looking for relief and want my professional opinion, I recommend using both the turmeric duocaps and Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex for a 1-2 punch. You will support your body's healthy inflammatory response and ease discomfort, all while having another option to lesser alternatives.
We know that finding relief is a priority for many of you, and there are a lot of questions surrounding this topic. To help you get clarity, we've pulled together some experts to answer some of the most common questions about using doTERRA products for relief. I have with me today Dr. Brannick Riggs and Roxanne Harris. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
When it comes to finding relief, this is a topic that's very urgent for many people, and both of you have a wealth of experience helping people work through this. We've gathered questions from wellness advocates across the world, and they're hoping you can bring some clarity. Our first question is, do you have an age recommendation for starting to take supplements?
I would recommend going by a child's weight rather than age, as well as their ability to swallow supplements without an issue. My recommendation is that children over 100 pounds who can swallow a capsule can begin taking supplements.
Deep Blue is one of our most popular product lines, but people often have questions about which product to use and when. When do you recommend using Deep Blue oil or rub versus Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex?
That's a great question. It depends on the effect that you're looking for, really. The topical products, Deep Blue Rub and Deep Blue Oil, give you a localized benefit to areas of concern. This means that you can really target a specific area. The polyphenols, on the other hand, are meant to give a more systemic effect throughout the whole body. So if you're looking for relief from general, occasional aches and pains, I'd recommend the Deep Blue polyphenols.
Okay, so for the Deep Blue polyphenols, it's more of that long-term relief that you're looking for.
The Deep Blue polyphenols is really meant to be for a global effect as opposed to that localized effect. That's kind of the difference between the two.
Awesome.
You don't get as much of the global influence when you're applying something topically to an area of concern as opposed to when you're looking for some global issue that you're dealing with where you would take something systemic.
Awesome. Perfect.
That's a great point, and I would like to add on an interesting note that many people choose to use Deep Blue polyphenols when they're experiencing acute head tension, menstrual discomfort, or other challenges where normally they would reach for maybe a less natural option. They love using Deep Blue polyphenols as an alternative solution.
Great. Now, here's a tough one. Is Deep Blue oil or Deep Blue rub better?
Well, that's difficult to answer. I think that they both serve a purpose. I think that Deep Blue Rub is best used when you're looking for that fast relief, when the oil can be used over time for discomfort.
That's very true, Dr. Riggs, and I think this is a great description to help people understand the two products. Similarly, I actually don't tend to think of these two products in terms of one being better than the other, but in terms of what the body's needs actually are. I'm a strong proponent of a multifaceted approach, both targeted by using the Deep Blue Rub directly on an area of concern, and also systemically through using Deep Blue polyphenols to balance and support the inflammatory response for a reduced recovery time. When we experience discomfort, using both Deep Blue products may have a more optimal effect, while we also address other factors such as a whole food diet and reducing stress and reducing toxic load.
Okay, here's a good one. When is the best time to apply Deep Blue Rub, and where should I apply it?
The best time to apply it is when you're experiencing discomfort. And the best way to apply it is to the surrounding tissue. Actually, we commonly use Deep Blue Rub in the clinic when someone comes in with discomfort to help relax the area so that we can examine that area a little bit easier because we've relieved some of that discomfort and tension that they're dealing with.
And I actually love the quick action of Deep Blue. When people have a problem area, my recommendation is to use it 3 times a day initially until they notice that the discomfort is negligible midday. Then I have them simply remove the midday dose and apply just in the morning to help set them up for a more functional day, and then again before bed to help the body continue to relax throughout the night and to support a comfortable sleep. So really, I'm recommending 3 times a day initially, but I do love using Deep Blue Rub in the morning to help people set up for a good day so that we don't get those spikes and challenges and discomfort, or at least keep it to a more manageable level.
Now a question that a lot of people have about Deep Blue polyphenol complex is, should they only take them when they feel discomfort, or should people take them on a daily basis even when they don't feel discomfort?
I would recommend taking them when you have occasional discomfort, and I'd recommend taking 1 to 2 capsules daily. If you're dealing with daily discomfort, take 1 daily. If an individual has no discomfort at all, then the benefit of taking them daily is quite low.
Dr. Riggs, I agree with that. And, you know, people that have long-standing issues may actually want to take this on a daily basis regardless of their discomfort because it may offer positive benefits by supporting a healthy inflammatory process.
True. Yeah, good point.
So if the root cause of discomfort is not dealt with, but Deep Blue products, copaiba, turmeric, continue to be used, can this cause adverse effects?
You know, Riel, it's always wise to discover the root cause of any irritation in the body. And we encourage people to reach out to their healthcare providers for that. The reason we feel discomfort is because it is a signal from our bodies that something may be wrong. And these supplements and products that we've talked about may be able to help mitigate discomfort while you're pursuing the appropriate attention to discover the underlying cause of that discomfort.
Well, and when we know what we're dealing with, it's actually easier to provide a more specific protocol. Using the products and oils to take a stab in the dark at an issue can have a more limited effect versus dealing with the underlying root cause. I like to be laser focused when using natural solutions. We get a greater response from the body when we actually give it what it needs. To me, the adversity comes when you don't address the actual issue itself.
So is it possible to use too much Deep Blue, whether it be the rub, the oil, or the supplement?
You know, Riel, we're all quite comfortable with the safety of essential oils, but there are always questions about high amounts causing toxicity. Deep Blue Rub does have methyl salicylate in the wintergreen oil. This compound is metabolized into salicylates, including salicylic acid, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. Those that have sensitivity to non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, or NSAIDs, may want to be more cautious in the use of Deep Blue Rub and oil. Turmeric in high enough concentrations has been shown to thin the blood. So if a person is having blood thinning treatment, they should be aware that consistent dosing of this compound or an avoidance of the compound might be wise.
I totally agree with you. And, you know, working with your healthcare provider or pharmacist to know what the best dose is for you based on your size and weight is a really great idea.
Yeah.
Switching now to a newer supplement that has gained a lot of popularity, Copaiba soft gels. How can Copaiba soft gels help ease discomfort?
I see Copaiba as an adjunct for discomfort. I like using it to layer underneath Deep Blue Rub for added support. I also like taking 2 Copaiba soft gels daily to support the inflammatory response systemically, while also supporting my sleep and emotional wellness. When the digestive system is challenged, adding Copaiba soft gels to your daily wellness protocol can be very helpful to regain a balanced function. And Copaiba seems to be well tolerated and works with the endocannabinoid system to have a direct effect on the immune system itself. Many find that Copaiba offers relief from their discomfort. It really does so much more and can be a wonderful adjunct to Deep Blue polyphenols and turmeric.
And helichrysum is one of our costly oils, so we're grateful to now offer it in a new touch format. When would it be best used?
Helichrysum is an unsung hero oil. I know you heard Emily talk about it. It offers exceptional support. Applying helichrysum to the spine and the base of the skull when experiencing discomfort provides a soothing and comforting sensation. Helichrysum is a very fast-acting essential oil, and it's used widely for soothing skin irritations and to also rejuvenate the skin itself.
Our last question is about turmeric duo capsules. Is it okay to take turmeric duo capsules together with the Deep Blue polyphenol complex?
Absolutely. If you find that this combination works well for you and your body, then there's nothing wrong with taking these 2 supplements together.
Taking both Deep Blue polyphenols and the turmeric duo capsules can be a phenomenal combination, especially when occasional discomforts have affected other organs or even body systems. Often long-standing discomfort can induce a stress response that can adversely affect other systems, such as the digestive system, for example. Turmeric duo capsules not only support a healthy inflammatory process, but offer support to other body systems as well.
Thank you both so much for joining us today, and a huge thanks to all of our speakers during this amazing session. Discomfort affects so many people, including myself, even after I stopped playing volleyball. I'm excited to take everything I've learned today and try these natural solutions. Relief is an important topic, and I'm so glad that you joined us today. Our hope is that this session has given you the tools and insight to support your comfort on a daily basis and your health moving forward. Be sure to join us for the next session where you'll hear all about the amazing work of the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation. And don't forget to stay tuned for your opportunity to earn amazing products today by playing our live giveaway quiz.